teachers and students sharing out some of their index cards. We've got another Chadwick Boseman video. So then we're actually going to have you add your index card today based off of what you've seen and heard about Chadwick Boseman over the last 3 weeks. So please have your index card ready to go for mobile students. Whatever you use to write down your goals, that's what you'll use today. And we'll go from there. But guys, we're really focusing on leadership today. Our goal is to prepare you for future success. So when you leave us and you graduate high school and you go to your post-secondary options, that you are an individual that is prepared for success and that you can look back at our school and not only think about what was our school grade, but think about how we helped you develop as a whole person so you're successful in the future. And so that's our whole goal of these Wednesdays. And so if you look at this chart again, you hear me say it all the time on the announcements. Teachers hear me say it all the time. But right here, it's these things we're really working on today: your ethics, your citizenship, and your leadership skills. And then, of course, some of you all will continue with your one-on-one data meetings today. So we're really excited about the direction we're going, and know that we continue to try to develop you for your future success. So this is why we do what we do. So I'm going to play a video from Miss Kennedy that's going to kick off our topic today. As we continue our Attitude is Altitude lessons, Miss Kennedy is excited this week. We've got a great lesson ahead.
Hey, y'all, this is Kennedy, and welcome back to our AIA Wednesday, y'all.
All right, guys, guess what? Somebody told me we couldn't hear. It's only 1:19. We're going to do it again. Just give me just a second as we work through this. Somebody showed me a cool feature. Here we go. We're doing it again.
Hey, y'all, it's Mrs. Kennedy, and welcome back to our AIA Wednesdays, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed last week's lesson on accurate self-perception. I hope this was a great way for you all to look into yourselves and also realize how others see you. Hopefully you all learned a lot about each other as well, because that's what this is all about, learning each other socially and emotionally. So I had some really cool things this week for you. We will be working on our strengths. You'll be able to identify the areas that you are really strong at, and then you'll be able to identify some areas that need just a little bit more work. Also, there's some really cool personality tests in there, so you get to find out so much more about yourself, as well as what type of personality you have that connects to a job or an activity outside in the real world. So that'll be really fun and interesting to kind of understand what path you all will be on. All right. Hopefully that was a great recap and you're excited about learning and getting ready for this AIA. Let's do it, Wolfpacks. Oh!
All right. Thank you, Miss Kennedy. She brings a lot of energy. If you can hear me, great, give me a thumbs up, someone. I just need one. There we go. All right. So that's what your AIA lesson is going to be about this week. It's an important one, and I hope you guys really tune in and really hear what we've got going on. So, students, I want to share something with you a little different today. And teachers, hopefully you recognize this individual. This man's name is Bobby Herrera, and he wrote a book called The Gift of Struggle. Your teacher spent an entire year, over a year, looking at this book, hearing stories. And the week before you guys came back to school, whether it was mobile or live, he actually zoomed us in all the way from Seattle, and he took the time to tell us some stories, talk to us adults on how we can be better leaders. And so, what I'm going to do is, teachers that are brave enough to do it, I'm going to put a couple of slides up. And remember, our theme is leadership on Wednesdays. And as you look at this slide, students, this is applicable to you. Every one of us is going through a struggle of some kind. Inside every struggle is a gift. Leaders share their gifts with others. And so, teachers, I'm looking for one of you guys to volunteer, to take yourself off mute and raise your hand and talk about what you learned from that quote over the past year to our student body. So, is there a teacher that's willing to do that, please? I can't tell if you're, we have 3 participants' hands raised. Can you see who they are? Send me a text if you're willing to share there, because I see 4 raised. I just can't figure out who they are. Miss Gibson, I'm going to take you off mute and let you share, and you should be okay to talk. I said, ask to unmute. All right.
Okay, I'm off mute. Good morning, boys and girls. Good morning, staff. Okay, so we all struggle. Inside every struggle is a gift. Leaders share their gifts with others. So that means to me that every day you might have something going through in your life, but you have to learn how to look at it as a gift in the end, because you learn from your struggles. You learn from daily tasks, things that happen in your life, you learn from it. So when you learn something new, or you learn from what you've done been through, you share it with a friend, you let them know. And sometimes friends can assist you because maybe they done been through something that you are going through, and you work together, you understand each other's hardships. So basically, just look at those downfalls, that traffic, as a something that just is in your way, and learn how to go across it, just like a bridge. A bridge is there to get you over the water. So just go, keep it moving.
Thank you, Miss Gibson. Good description. Students, basically, Miss Gibson, there we go. Basically, guys, the perfect days where everything goes right is very rare. What determines who you are, what kind of leader you are, is how you handle yourself when things aren't going well. Thank you for sharing, Miss Gibson. Our second one that we have from this is what hopefully our teachers feel, and that is leadership. This comes from the book as well. Leadership amounts to wanting more for our people than we want from our people. As teachers, that's a big piece of what we try to do here. That's why we're sharing our why. Miss McPherson, could you please share out, as Georgia will find you, and talk about what that meant as we studied Struggle of Gift this past year? You should be good, Miss McPherson.
Good morning, everybody. I learned through the book that, like we said, everybody experiences struggles every day. And I took that back to the classroom, which made me have more empathy towards others. You just got to not be so selfish and think about your own problems, that everybody is going through something. And my why is you guys. I'm here for y'all. And so I got to put myself in your place. And even if you look happy, some days you might be crying inside. You just got to be open and always there for somebody. that might be having that struggle and be there for them so they can realize their struggle is a gift and it will be over. And that every day we're alive is just a gift, first of all, and that struggle will end and everybody can help you get over it and we can do it together. So it's just helped me realize to put myself in all my students' shoes that everybody is not the same and we all need different things, and just help me be more open to any conflicts or anything that they have.
That's awesome. Thank you, Miss McPherson. And I hope you hear, and I appreciate you all sharing that. And I hope you hear from people like Miss Gibson and Miss McPherson, guys, that when we're teaching you about leadership, it's not about a title. It's not about being in charge. It's about making people's lives better. And that's what leadership is all about. And so we want to show you an example this morning. Obviously, we're not going to read a whole book that the adults read over the school year, but I do want to read to you the first 3 pages from the book. And Miss Georgia's put this in a PDF for me. So it's a very last minute copy page, but I'm going to put it up here on the screen for you. And so I will read this to you, and I hope you enjoy it. It's only 3 pages long, but I want you to see what leadership is about and what service is about. And again, if you look, this is the cover of the book, The Gift of Struggle. So read along with me. When I was 17, my brother Ed and I played on the same high school basketball team. Returning from an away game one night on the team bus, we all talked excitedly, reliving the highlights of the game we had just won. Along the way, the bus stopped at a restaurant so the team could unload and eat dinner. Everyone filed out except for Ed and me. That's his brother. My brother and I couldn't afford to buy meals on school trips. Instead, our mom would send us off with her legendary burritos so we could still participate in sports with the other kids. Eating on the bus was a routine. We were long past any embarrassment we may have felt. And give me a quick transition here. Look, the suspense, huh? The suspense. All right. Georgia, can you help me get to the next slide? Yeah, it's up. Yep. Gotcha. Bam. There it is. Sorry about that, guys. So minutes after so they're sitting there on the bus. These 2 kids, they can't afford to go into a restaurant and eat with the other kids, and their mom had packed them their meal. Maybe some of us can relate to that. We've either seen it or experienced it. So listen what happened after that. Minutes after the team had gone, we were about to dig into our dinner. Unexpectedly, Mr. Teague, the father of a teammate, reboarded the bus. He didn't say much at first, just teased me a bit because my younger brother had outscored me in the game. But I'll always remember what he said next. Bobby, he said, it would make me very happy if you would allow me to buy you boys dinner so you can join the rest of the team. No one else has to know. To thank me, you just have to do the same thing in the future for another great kid like yourself. And I want to read that line one more time. To thank me, you just have to do the same thing in the future for another great kid like yourself. That small gesture had a profound impact on me. As a family of migrant workers, I had felt from a very young age that we were socially invisible. I lived in a country that relied on my father's work for readily available food, but no one acknowledged what we did. Our family traveled 6 months out of the year to work in the fields, and I inevitably returned home to find that my friends' lives had moved on, leaving me anxious to reconnect and catch up on the fun-filled summer I'd missed. As a high school junior, I couldn't imagine that I would have a life different than the one we are. See, next page. All right. Different from the one that I had. Thank you. But I was dead set on not getting stuck where I was. As a resilient kid with the desire to take control of my own story, I realized I had to get my life together and fast. When my dad would tease that he would break my plate when I graduated, it really wasn't a joke. I would soon be on my own. That day on the bus, I was seen in a new important way. I knew my parents loved me. I had teachers and coaches who had taken the time to encourage and cultivate me. But Mr. Teague was different. He was a successful businessman in our town. And in my eyes, he was someone who had made it big. Definitely not the type of person I expected to pay attention to me. And yet he not only acknowledged me, but also offered kindness and gave me a purpose. In a simple statement, Mr. Teague said that I could one day help somebody else who really needed it like I had. I'll never forget the gratitude I felt as Ed and I joined the team for dinner that night. It changed the way I looked at my life and what I wanted to achieve. So guys, his purpose was founded right there. He was interested in helping other people. So what I would like for you to do, students and staff, please join, is get the index card out or whatever it is you have used to address your goals for this cycle, and take a second to draw a picture representation of what this 3-page story means to you or what it says about leadership. I'm going to give you 1 minute, and then we may let some kids share on this and put it on the screen. Guys, you have 15 seconds. Awesome, awesome. That story, guys, means a lot to me because it's about a leader helping someone, a leader making a difference in someone's life, a leader making an impact. And that's what leadership is, impact. I want you to know that that kid on the bus, that man that you saw originally, he is now a CEO of a major company in Seattle. He goes around the country teaching about leadership. And so he's a very, very successful man. And it all started because of the fact that he was willing, that someone was willing to help them just go eat with their friends in a restaurant. So thank you for that. Teachers, is there anyone you could text me? Would like to share your index card, not only of your goals for this cycle, but what you added based on the revisit of that story? If you would just text me, teachers, I will take you off of mute. And then students, we will get to you. So teachers, text me if you're willing to, please. I just need a couple. Be brave, be leaders. Miss McPherson, you're saving me today. Go ahead and make sure we can see your index card.
Well, we're on the OWL monitor thing, so I'm not sure how to show everything.
Yeah, you can.
It's okay. We're all learning the app.
Okay, so Ashanti Brooks wanted to share her 2 goals and how she thought it related to the story that you just read. So Ashanti, stop to the.
Okay, go ahead, Ashanti.
Hello. Hi.
So tell them your 2 goals.
My 2 goals was being a parent and helping people, being patient,
And
helping people.
so her 2 goals were being patient and helping people. So how did that relate to the story that Mr. Frost just read?
He was helping the kids.
Okay, so she said when he was helping out the kid, that was the same type as what she wants to do with her goals, helping other people when they need help.
All right, thank you. Miss Mills is next. Or, I'm sorry, Miss Griffin, and then Miss Mills. Is Miss Griffin up?
Yes.
Go ahead.
One thing I put for my goal is to try to spend more quality time working on my own personal goals, because a lot of times I spend a lot of time helping other people. So that's one thing that I put for my goal. As it relates to the 3-page story, this is my card. I don't know if you guys can see it. And what I put on there is to show kindness. I have a heart with a dollar sign in it, and I put pay it forward, because so many people struggle in life, and you never know the impact you will have on someone by sharing whatever it is you have with them, whether if you're sharing your time, attention. Sometimes people just want you to listen to them, but it can make such a big difference. I remember when I was in the 5th grade and I attended a school in Tallahassee, Florida, I actually had several teachers. They gave me clothes, they gave me shoes, and they would do little things that really helped me out. So in return, when I was able to do the same thing for some other students who were in need. I have 2 students who would like to share what they put too.
Great.
Gracie and Journey, come on.
Can they bring their card too, Miss Griffin?
Yes. Okay, bring your card and sit right here. Journey, you go first. Sit down. No, sit down. You're going to share what you put, and then show your card.
Okay, so
You can move your mask down.
one of my goals that I have is to have a better attitude towards everybody, and how this story relates to that is, it means that gratitude is really something that can help people, because you might not know what somebody may be going through. So if you were to just be kinder to everybody, then maybe you might just help them.
Okay.
And this is my card. It has a heart, and it has one person thanking the other.
Can you hold it up a little more? Because that was an awesome goal. Is that Journey talking?
Yes, Journey Smith.
Yeah. Journey, you do have a big heart. That's great. Thank you for sharing. That's awesome. Miss Griffin, did you say you had one more?
Yes, I do. Gracie. Oh, yes, okay. Just explain what you did.
Hello. Can you show us your card?
My goal, one of my goals is
You
to,
can take it down at the top. Okay.
one of my goals is to be more kind and possibly help anyone in need. And how that relates to the story is, to me, how it relates is that it means a simple act of kindness can change how anyone feels or acts. So,
Great. Can you hold your card up?
I don't necessarily have a picture.
Can you? Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Listen, Miss Griffin, I really appreciate that. I really, what you said really spoke to me. It just defines how people helping you out made you the great teacher and the position you're in today. So I really appreciate that. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
One more, Miss Mills was willing to. So Miss Mills, Georgia's working on it, and the floor will be yours.
Good morning, everybody. So I'm going to share one of my goals that I have for myself, and then I will call up a student to share as well. So one of my self-awareness goals is, for me, I want to work on my tone when speaking, because it's about perceptions of how others see you. So at times I feel like myself, I have a loud voice. So if I'm already speaking loud and then I'm trying to speak to a student and that's loud as well, then they might perceive me to be a little more different, or maybe not so kind or friendly, anything like that. So I really do want to work on my tone when I am speaking. I want to be a little more positive and a little more calm. So that's how I see myself and the goal that I want for myself. As far as the book last year, A Gift is a Struggle, it was very powerful reading as I read with the staff and on my own. So what I got from it today is, it's better to give than to receive. It's what you do for others is how you begin to build yourself. It's not all about that. It's not all about what I can get from others, but what I can do for others, because that's the love that we share for one another. So, you have to choose, no matter what situation you may be in, you have to choose to be positive. It's what you make it. So that's what I got from the book today. And I have Desire coming up, and she's going to share her card. And I don't know if y'all can see my picture.
Yeah. And Miss Mills, that's very powerful from you as well. It's what you do for others. Hearing you say that makes my heart feel good, and I know that you do that well. So I appreciate that.
Thank you. All right. So you can stay on your computer.
Stay kind, stay healthy, and sometimes I get too angry to the point where I hit my brother.
Okay. So how are you going to work on that?
So I'm talk to a thought about it, and then I calm down, and then I go back to doing work.
Okay, that's the wonderful goal.
All right.
And then
Awesome.
leadership, I need to focus on that.
So she said you want to focus on leadership? Well, you already have done that with the video last week, so you're on the right track.
And everything homeless.
And feed the homeless.
And
You know, okay.
what I read about the book is the coach was very kind. He paid for the boys' meals.
Okay, awesome.
All right. And there's your card. Yes. So thank you very much, Miss Mills, for sharing. Good job, guys. So I hope everyone sees through this book today that leadership truly is about serving others. And it sounds like from our few students that were brave enough to share, that you start to see that some of the best leaders that we will study over the course of this school year are ones that did for others. They weren't doing it for themselves, or they weren't in it for themselves. And you'll be able to see that every single morning. We say on the announcements, the actions determine your values. And so our goal is to show you examples all the time of those people that are actions are determining their values. So great. And we appreciate that a lot. Thank you for sharing. So everybody remembers this guy. He's the theme of the week, or of our unit, of our 4-week unit, Mr. Chadwick Boseman. We tried the video last week, and I apologize for that. Today's going to be a lot better, I promise you. But if you segue from the book that staff read and that you all read the first chapter of today, this quote goes along perfectly, which is, "The struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose." And so kids, what's that mean is you see adults all around you in this building, they're here for one reason or another because of struggles that they have been through. And so when you start going through your struggles yourself, just know that it's an opportunity for leadership. It's an opportunity to get better as a person, and it's an opportunity to see how you could help others. And so even as famous as Chadwick Boseman was, he was always focused on purpose. And that's why we say press on with purpose every single morning on the announcements. But I'm getting ready to show you a video where he is addressing a group of college graduates, and he's going to make the reference to Muhammad Ali. Is there any teacher out there, if you want to text me or raise your hand, that would like to share quickly who Muhammad Ali is for our young students? Anybody willing to do that? Any adults out there? You can raise your hand or text me if you're willing to do it. Just give a quick background. Or my go-to will be Mr. Brooks. He could possibly share.
Right. Good morning. Good morning.
Can you share about Muhammad Ali, Mr. Brooks?
Muhammad Ali, ladies and gentlemen, he was one of the first boxers that was very. He went through his struggle. He made it through. And I remember his famous quote. His famous quote was always "Float like a butterfly and sting like a bee." He's one of our famous boxers here in the United States, and I've always looked up to him. I saw him in action a couple times. I'm pretty young, so I saw a lot of highlights of him. But he's very important, and we should get to know this guy. I mean, he's passed and went on to be upstairs, but he is a very successful boxer, and he's a prime example of having struggle as one of his gifts. But he was a very successful boxer. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks. Thank you for sharing that. You guys, the reason why we talk about Muhammad Ali today is because in this video with Chadwick Boseman, he's going to reference him. So I want you all to just have an idea of who he was. He was the heavyweight champion of the world in boxing several times. And so I hope you enjoy this video from Mr. Chadwick Boseman as he talks about to this graduating class about purpose.
Walking across this yard on what seemed to be a random day, my head down, lost in my own world of issues, like many of you do daily. I'm almost at the center of the yard. I raised my head and Muhammad Ali was walking towards me. Time seemed to slow down as his eyes locked on mine and opened wide. He's raised his fist into a quintessential guard. I was game to play along with him, to act as if I was a worthy opponent. What an honor to be challenged by the GOAT, the greatest of all time, for a brief moment. His face was as serious as if I were Frazier in the Thriller in Manila. His movements were flashes of a past greater than I can imagine. His security let the joke play along for a second before they ushered him away. And I walked away floating like a butterfly. I walked away amused at him, amused at myself, amused at life for this moment that almost no one would ever believe. I walked away light, ready to take on the world. The dynamics of positive and negative seem to exist in extremes.
I told you, I'm the real champion. I told you, I'm the champion of the world. All of it now.
Throughout ancient times, institutions of learning have been built on top of hills to convey that great struggle is required to achieve degrees of enlightenment. Each of you had your own unique difficulties with the hill. You know, sometimes your grades don't give a real indication of what your greatness might be. You would rather find purpose than a job or career. Purpose crosses disciplines. Purpose is an essential element of you. It is the reason you are on the planet at this particular time in history. Your very existence is wrapped up in the things you are here to fulfill. Whatever you choose for a career path, remember the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose. Or some of you went through something traumatic. You made it to the top of the hill, but not without scars and bruises. When completing a long climb, one first experiences dizziness, disorientation, and shortness of breath due to the high altitude. But once you become accustomed to the climb, your mind opens up to the tranquility of the triumph. Oftentimes, the mind is flooded with realizations that were for some reason harder to come to when you were at a lower elevation. At this moment, most of you need some realizations because right now you have some big decisions to make. I don't know what your future is, but if you're willing to take the harder way, the more complicated one, the one with more failures at first than successes, the one that has ultimately proven to have more meaning, more victory, more glory. As is often the case, those that follow most often enjoy the results of the progress you gain. Sometimes you need to get knocked down before you can really figure out what your fight is. Everything that you fought for was not for yourself. It was for those that come after. Finally, I thought of Ali in the middle of the yard. In his elder years, drawing from his victories and his losses. At that moment, I realized something new about the greatness of Ali and how he carried his crown. I realized that he was transferring something to me on that day. He was transferring the spirit of the fighter in me. He was transferring the spirit of the fighter to me. He was transferring the spirit of the fighter to me.
All right. Thank you guys for allowing me to share that. Hopefully, you could see what's there and how that relates to what we had been talking about.
So how do you?
Sorry about that. What we were talking about today. So get your index card back out. Get your, or if you're home and you have a sheet with your goals on it. After you've seen that video, just jot down a couple of symbolic representations from listening to that video and how that relates to your goals. And then we're actually going to ask some mobile kids to, our mobile family, to share out this time. So take about 1 minute and let's think about what we just saw in the video as it pertains to leadership. And let's update that index card that we continue to work on. 1 minute. Ten seconds, please. Thank you very much. Miss Georgia, it looks like we have a few participants. You could take them off mute, and let's see what they did and have to say.
Pamela, you're off mute. You should be able to share.
So I thought about the video that it was talking about his life, that what he did, and like basically telling everybody like to follow their future.
Yeah, you're talking about him following his dreams and being determined?
Mm-hmm. And here's my index card.
Okay, let's see it. Okay. Yeah, Pamela, you're doing well with your index card. Thank you. Thanks
You're
for
welcome.
sharing. Miss Georgia, who's next?
I'm going to take Zachary Moore off mute. Zachary, you should be good.
Okay, thank you. I seen in the video that what it said is that I think that he accomplished so much, and that I think they wanted to say that anybody can accomplish anything they want or anything that they want to do in life, because as long as you know you can do it, you'll be able to accomplish it.
Great, thank you, Zach. Can you share your card, Zachary? Are you comfortable doing that?
Yes. Done.
Okay, no problem. And while Zachary's doing that, there we go. Thank you. I'm really impressed with Zachary and the way he talks about being, working hard. And I think, guys, we have to understand how important school is and how school shapes your future, not just grades, but who you become as a person. Let's do one more for the sake of time. Miss Georgia, you pick.
All right, I see one more hand. I see Journey S. Journey, I'm going to take you off mute. Journey isn't connected to audio. Let's see if we can find another hand in here. Mr. Cross, I don't see another one.
It's showing 11 on my end. Okay, we showed 11 more, so we'll get to you again. Huh? You got, okay, I'm gonna put stuff on mute.
Aya, you are off mute. You can share out.
Muhammad Ali was brave and fearless. He made everyone better. He also changed his attitude and his people. That's it. I didn't have any time to make a big one.
Thank you very much. That was good. Thank you guys for sharing. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you're enjoying the Chadwick Boseman videos. Our theme today is leadership and what leadership is all about. So we've looked at the gift of struggle and what your teachers have learned over the past year. We shifted it to Chadwick Boseman and about his life. And I want you to understand and notice that in his speech, he never mentioned that he was a movie star or Black Panther or that he played Jackie Robinson. All he talked about was serving others. And so I hope you've seen that theme in the first two. Serving others is not necessarily about money. It's about what you do for others and how you help them along the way, which segues us into the last piece. Every third week of our unit, we will have a guest speaker that I hope you all will enjoy. I want to play a little intro video, and then I will introduce our guest speaker. Teachers, I know we're running a little bit over. It's okay. Just hang tight.
Dangerous places. In an age when so many institutions have come up short, these Americans stood tall. They met their responsibilities to one another and to the flag they served. I just met with some of them and told them that as Commander-in-Chief, I could not be proud.
There's no blood, there's no alibi, 'cause I've drawn regret for the truth of 1,000 lies. So let mercy come and wash away what I've done. I'll face myself to cross out what I've become. Erase myself and let go of what I've done. Put to rest what you thought of me while I clean this slate with the hands of uncertainty. So let mercy come and wash away what I've done. I'll face myself to cross out what I've become. Erase myself and let go of what I start again, and whatever they may come, today this ends. I'm forgiving what I've done. I'll face myself to cross out what I've become. Erase myself and let go of what I've done.
Let's finish the work ahead and forge a just and lasting peace. May God bless our troops, and may God bless the United States of America.
All right, guys. The reason why we play that video today is we have a guest speaker who as well talks about service to others and is the leader and leader himself. And so it's my pleasure today. Mr. Brooks, we're coming back to you, sir. Don't worry. It's my pleasure today. Sorry, guys. Mr. Brooks is our treat. Because of time, it's our pleasure today from across the world. Mr. Johnny Childs joins us. He serves in the Army, and we're actually going to just let him talk a few minutes about leadership and what it's like to serve others, and then allow you to ask a couple of questions. So, Georgia, could you put Mr. Childs on there? Go ahead.
Hello, can y'all hear me?
We can hear you, sir.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Thanks for joining us.
No problem. I also brought a friend of mine. His name is Royal. So we got two people today that's going to be telling a little bit about leadership. So just bear with us. We're going to take a little minute of y'all time. But we're going to probably talk about strengths and weaknesses and leadership and how it all ties together with the military. A little background before we get started. Y'all might hear us say battle here and there. but I want y'all to think of that as a classmate in your world. So when I say battle, that's kind of like a classmate to y'all. But I've been in the military a little over 7 years. Started out in Arkansas, did 3 years. Then I moved to, me and Ms. Robinson moved to Florida. And then we've been here for a little over 4 years. It's been great. But joining the military was probably one of the biggest accomplishments that I done have besides graduating college. It's very stressful, very demanding, and you have to adapt. And being able to adapt is very important. And I want y'all to give yourselves a pat on y'all back as well, because 2020 has been crazy. Y'all have to adapt and come from classroom to virtual. We're seeing some kids happening from home. That takes a lot of leadership there, and able to join the class while being at home. You can do a lot of things by playing on the game. We have our technology that's taking over in the world, but yet you tapped in the class, and you've been a leader, and you're showing your friends that you're gonna do what you asked them to do as well. So with me being in the military for 7 years, I was a 91 Fox with small arms repair. When I moved to Florida, I had to change that MOS because they didn't have it. So I switched to Signal. Switching to Signal, you have to know your strengths and weaknesses when it comes to Signal, because we are kind of like, think of us as Xfinity. We provide the technology for our cell phones, internet. There's no communication without us. So we don't know our strengths and weaknesses. Don't nothing run. It starts and ends with us. And a lot of people need to have self-awareness of their strengths and weaknesses. Now, it can be very complicated because your strength can also be your weakness. For me, one of my strengths is I set the tone. I'm the first one in, last one out. I like to motivate people. I'm very social. Ms. Robinson will tell you, I probably don't be quiet. Royal will probably tell you, I'm gonna talk, but I like to set the tone. I'm gonna get my hands dirty first, and then I'm gonna tell you to get your hands dirty. I'm gonna ask you that. I'm gonna let you know that I'm here for you. And like I said, I want you to think of the military as a group project. We're a big group project trying to accomplish one goal. But within that project, we have individual tasks. And a lot of weight falls on our soldiers. So you have to be able to adapt. Think about it as y'all might have block classes. Every hour you might have to change and go to a different class. That's how fast things come with the military. It comes and goes, but you have to adapt. You have to be ready to step in there. But knowing your strengths and weaknesses also allow your battles to understand, or your classmates to understand, when to give you that role and when they need to step in. Sometimes you gotta know when to follow, and sometimes you gotta know when to lead. So like I said, I'm a tone setter. Some of them, now my biggest, I probably got two biggest weaknesses. One of them is I take a lot of stuff home. And in what we do, you have to be able to unwind. You have to have time to unwind. I know Mr. Carlos tells his teachers all the time, hey, clear your head, clear your thoughts, relax. You have to be able to unwind so you can be ready to come back that next day, your full you, because you have to give 110% in everything that you do. The moment that you go under that 110, there's somebody's always out there trying to do better. So you have to continue to push yourself. Always push yourself. One of my weaknesses is I try to handle things by myself. When I'm going through things, I keep it in. Ms. Robinson will tell you, like, I don't really like to talk about my problems, but I try to fix it on my own. But like I said, when you have battles of friends like I have with me today, he know when something's wrong. We've been around each other long enough to know when something's wrong. We know each other's strengths and we know each other's weaknesses. When I'm quiet, he already knows something's going on. I'm thinking about something. So you do need to have some self-awareness, but also be aware of your friends, because you never know when you need to pick somebody up. Like, we're human just like y'all are. Just because we're in the military, don't think that we don't go through things or have our own trials and tribulations. So just wanted to share that with you a little bit. I'm going to let Roy get his little spiel. Like I said, we don't want to take up too much time, but he's going to talk to you about strengths and weaknesses and how they kind of run together.
Okay, just to kind of give a little background on myself, I've been in the military going on 6 years. I started in the North Carolina Guard, and then I moved to Florida as well. Kind of like Mr. Charles was just saying, one thing that I can tell people all the time is knowing your weaknesses is a strength. So if I know myself, like he says, he's very vocal, I'm not. And I know that, so that's something that I try to focus on every day. Like, hey, if I have an input that I think is going to benefit the team and make our mission go smoother, I try to make sure that, okay, yes, say this. Because at the end of the day, I know myself, I like to keep to myself and kind of just, I'm more of a hands-on type of person. I'm going to show you. So sometimes, you know, being aware of what your weaknesses are can make you a better person. It's a strength. I know, like you said, a lot of times, I know a lot of times we may think, hey, you know, I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that. Don't take it as, you know, downing yourself. Take it as a challenge of how you can make yourself better. And every day get better, like you said. But we hold each other accountable. If he's doing something and he's not doing it to his best ability, I'm the first one to call him out. And it's the same with me. If he sees me and I'm slacking off at school or I'm at work and I'm not doing it to my best ability, he'll pull me quick. Hey, Royal, you can do better than that. You're better than that. And I mean, just like you said, just being accountable for your friends, it can go a long way because, especially in these times, you know, we're all going through unique times. I mean, I haven't seen anything like this in my life before. So just being there for one another, saying, hey, you know, is everything okay? Do you need to talk to someone? That goes for the students as well as the teachers as well. I know you guys are going through, you know, trying to do virtual and trying to adapt to everything, and it can be tough. So I just think, you know, being accountable for one another is very important in these times.
Also, to piggyback off what he said, it's very important that you can take criticism. It's not saying that you're doing it wrong. It's not saying that, hey, you suck at it. Being able to view something from somebody else's viewpoint, it helps you and it also helps them. But it also builds a bond. And he come in me and be like, hey, you need to get it together. I know it's out of love. It's not out of like, hey, I want you to fail. He wants me to be the best me. And I have to be the best me so I can challenge him to be the best him. I also heard people giving goals. I have a couple goals myself. Like, I want to be the change that I want to see in the world. I know a lot of people say it, but you have to be able to stick with that. I like to be involved in things that's bigger than me. I want to do like, we were talking about Chadwick. I want to be like him. He was battling cancer for 4 years, never said anything about it. He was still producing movies, giving us what we wanted to see, and try to give us what we wanted from him without talking about his personal struggles. And also, he didn't allow that to stop him. Muhammad Ali, y'all talked about him. He went through a lot of things that he had to battle. Like, he even went to jail for some things he stood up for. So when you stand for something, make sure you stand on it so people know that you are real about that. Like, stand on what you mean, regardless of what comes your way. There's a lot of other people out there. You know, you got your Colin Kaepernicks. It's a lot of people, but stay focused, continue to adapt. Also, we also give everybody else praise for what they do and thank them, but we also need to take time to pat ourselves on the back because we don't realize some of the things that we've been through. I'm probably one of the first of one of my family to graduate college. That was very big. I really never patted myself on the back. I gave credit to everybody for pushing me and keeping me straight, but I also had to put that motivation and time in to finish it. So remember to give yourself a pat on the back. Like, keep your head up. Like, it's going to be okay. 2020 has been bad. You know, Kobe Bryant, Chadwick, like, it's been a lot, but we're still alive. We still can be that change. We have to be the voice for those people that we care about. So, I mean, if he have any goals, I'll let him say his goals, and then feel free to ask whatever you want to ask. Like I said, we human. We love the kids. Like, we're a kid on the inside. But when it's time to go to work, it's time to go to work. When it's time to put this uniform on, like, we are accountable for a lot of people. Like, and another thing is, like, our strengths and weaknesses will affect the people around you. There's always somebody watching. So I want y'all to be able to think about what you're going to do before you do it, because somebody's always watching. Even that person that you think that don't like you, they're watching because they want to be you. They want to be like what you are. So continue to get better, perfect what's already perfect, and then build on what you need to build on.
It's a great point. Great point. We're going to open it up. We'll ask 2 or 3 questions from the kids, and then we'll move. But great stuff. It's amazing that you guys are across the world, and we're sitting here talking about leadership with kids today. I really appreciate
That's
you
fine.
doing
No problem.
that. Miss Georgia, who do we have?
First hand I saw up, I think she shared earlier, was Pamela. Let me see. Oh, she put it down. Let me see if I can get it. I saw someone clapping. That's awesome. Go ahead and use the raised hand feature if you want to share out, boys and girls. Here we go. It looks like we have Gracie wants to share. I'm going to take you off mute, Gracie. She'd like to ask a question. Gracie, you should be off mute now.
How do you handle something the activities and stuff to do? Like me and the military.
Hey, Miss Hill, can you repeat that question for me?
Miss Griffin, if you can mute one of your computers in the room.
Okay, sure.
Okay, we'll come back to Gracie. Georgia, is there someone else?
Bobby Duarto. I see Bobby raising his hand. I'm going to take you off mute, Bobby.
I just needed that. They said we're getting feedback on Facebook.
We'll get there, guys.
Oh, don't worry about it.
All right. Yeah, I see another hand raised. I see Zachary shared before and his audio was working. So Zachary, I'm going to take you off of mute to ask your question.
What is it like to be in the military?
Zachary, that's a good question. To be honest, like it's different from person to person. Depends on what you want out of the military. The military is a big sacrifice. You have to understand that we are across the world. Right now, we are 8 hours ahead of y'all. So right now, it is like 4 something over here. And so leaving Florida, we left behind mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, cousins, people that look up to us. And a lot of people tend to interpret military with war. And it's more to military than what people think. A lot of people see a lot of stuff going on the news. The military is way bigger than that. Like the military is not no different than what you're doing right now. Like I said, we was once in those seats. What you're doing now, and like I said, it's bigger than us. Because over here we have to think about others. We have to think about the people around us. We don't have time to think about ourselves. We have to think about the mission. So it's one of those things that's going to build you to be a leader. It's going to build you to be that role model that you want to be. So over here, there's no time for self-pity. There's no time for doubt. You have to build your craft. You have to know your craft. There's no in between. We probably hold the same standard and guidelines as Mr. Cross. He is responsible for everybody in that school. And when it comes to the military, we are responsible for y'all. So what it's like is it's very fast paced. It's stressful. You have to be adaptable. But in the long run, it's beautiful. Like memories, people that you will meet that you probably would never thought you would meet. I done met people from Germany, South Korea, and it give you an insight on other countries and other worlds, because the people that when we go eat, it's not Americans that's feeding us. They are feeding us. and they have the same spirit, the same energy as we do. So you have to look at it from their eyes when you come to their country. A lot of things are different over here. Like their water is bad. When we brush our teeth, we have to use a bottle of water. Like if we drink the water, we can get sick. So it's a lot. Don't get me wrong, it's different, but it helps you learn the other culture. And then what you see on TV, you know how to divide what's real and what's not real. So like I said, you just have to adapt. Kind of like what you're doing now with virtual, you're logging on. You got to have that same motivation with the military.
I would say the biggest thing that I've learned from the military is it's one big family, honestly. You meet, like you said, you meet some people from all walks of life, and you build this common bond of, hey, I serve with this guy or female, and have these relationships for the rest of your life. Like, I know people from when I first joined, and I still talk to them at least once or twice a week. When me and him are at home, we talk on a regular basis. You build that big bond because you go to those sacrifices that he's away from his family, just like I'm away from mine. So, you build that bond on that, hey, you're not with your family, so we're family. I'm going to be there for you in your time of need and your time of good. So it's the biggest thing I would say is sacrifice and family.
And like I said, we've been knowing each other for 3 years, but people think we've been knowing each other for 20. I already know when we go to eat lunch, he's going to get some Lucky Charms. We already know what each other's going to eat. And like I said, we put on our clothes the same way you put on your clothes. We prepare for our day like you prepare for your day. So you can do whatever you want to do, like what you want to be when you grow up.
We really appreciate it. We got a lot of questions from kids, and we have a career day probably soon, where kids could, if we could do this again, where kids can ask a lot of questions.
That's fine.
But I know you all are gonna hang with us for 2 more, so I'm gonna give you all a little break. I appreciate it. And we'll see you back soon. But guys, if you all could give them a video clap and thank them for joining us, it was really good. Thank you. And now we're going to transition to our last piece, teachers. Thank you for being patient. I think we've really had some powerful stuff here today, because we've really been focusing on leadership and struggle and sacrifice. And so, I've been fortunate enough to be here for almost 2 years now, and we're continuing our theme of why teachers do what they do and why our staff does what we do. And so you've heard from Chadwick Boseman a little bit. You've heard from Mr. Childs serving overseas. And now our final piece of the day, and teachers, we can adjust your schedule, so please don't stress out. This is good stuff. I want you all to hear from a man that I admire greatly and respect greatly. He is a major piece of the school. This school has jumped leaps and bounds, I feel, in the last couple of years. And part of that is the consistency that the staff brings, including this man, Mr. Brooks, a very trustworthy man, a very character-driven man who is truly a leader in our school. And so I've asked him today to share his why for what he does. And I'm really looking forward to hearing it. And then teachers, after that, we will wrap up. So Mr. Brooks, the floor is yours, and I will do your Nearpod for you. Can you got it, Mr. Brooks?
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, can I get a thumbs up if you can hear me? All right. All right. Good morning, everybody. Mr. Cross, I appreciate that great introduction. Wednesdays have become one of my #1 priorities here at Duval Charter. This is very huge for the whole Duval Charter Scholars Academy family. It didn't take me much to put this slideshow together because I know my purpose on why I'm here. So as I go through this slide, I'm going to let you guys know my background and everything that I've went through since I've been at Duval Charter and future plans. But I'm very excited to be here. So why I do what I do, my life. Here we go. All right. I was born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm 30 years of age. I went to school right here in Jacksonville, Martin Luther King, Henry F. Kite. For high school, I attended First Coast and William M. Raines, class of 2008. Sports in my family was very key, very big. Noticing since I've been here at Duval Charter and since I've been in the school system, a lot of kids have a lot of talents. And I want every one of you in this school to utilize it, whether it's sports, academically, whatever. So I actually earned a baseball full ride scholarship to Edward Waters College right here in Jacksonville. And they actually paid for me to go to school. That took a lot of discipline. That took a lot of focus. And for me to get through college, I had to maintain a certain GPA. Kids, you will know as you get older, what you do in elementary will follow you throughout your whole school career, middle school, high school, college. Scouts, they watch it. They watch from the bottom all the way to the top. I was actually also invited during my stay at Edward Waters College. I was invited at the end of my college career to a HBCU showcase in Atlanta, Georgia. That's HBCU means Historically Black College University. I was invited to that first annual baseball showcase. I was recruited by the Atlanta Braves, but I wanted to get in the work field. Baseball was almost my ticket, but I have a passion for kids. This is why I'm here right now. So I transitioned into the school system. We can go to the next slide, Mr. Cross. All right, as you can see, I have a couple pictures on here. One of my mottos, again, family matters. A lot of us weren't born and raised in two-parent households, but I had the honor of doing that, and I appreciate every moment of it. This is a picture of me and my brother. We actually played Little League basketball together. That's also a picture of me and him at a baby photo shoot when he was born. And at the bottom, that's my dad. He's the full owner of our family business, which is now called My Seasoned Chicken and Ribs. And my brother, he actually used to work here at Duval Charter, but he's gone on to be a high school football coach right here in Jacksonville at Terry Parker High School. And my dad was a former police officer here in Jacksonville. And then he transitioned to the business role. I also work on the weekends with the family business because, as you know, ladies and gentlemen, you have to have leadership when it comes to running your own business. You have to have the right mindset. So I'm here to let you know, I'm here to coach you up with having that positive mindset because I want every single one of you to be successful as you get older and older and deal with a lot of stuff and things in your life that we would have to manage and put plans in place. So I'm here for that. Okay, we can go to the next one. All right, as you heard me say, I graduated from college spring 2013. I actually earned my degree in criminal justice, and I have a minor in physical education. This picture that's right up at the top right, you can see me with where the NAIA logo is. I was actually out of, about 500 schools in my division with baseball. I was actually picked from my school to represent Edward Waters College and earn the Champions of Character Award. Ladies and gentlemen, your character is really what take you a long way as well. Your character is what matters. When your character really plays a major role, and you can't get caught up in the moment. We have to put a plan in place and move forward. Some of you have a little struggle, but I'm here for you and want to let you know that I'm going to be here for you. I don't plan on leaving anytime soon. So you have my support in that. As you can see, my bullet says I have a great passion for working with kids. So that's when I transitioned into the school system in 2013. I was a substitute teacher with Kelly Services. And then I had the honor of joining CSUSA in 2014. That is also a picture of me pitching. I was a pitcher in college. and I also played in the outfield. So as you see, sports is very key, but all of us may not go to the next level with sports, but that's what got me where I'm at now, and I'm honored to be in this position. Moving right along. All right. I started out as a substitute teacher. I was a permanent teacher in fourth grade. A lot of the eighth graders here, you had me in fourth grade, so it's been very emotional for me. I know a lot of you don't see me shed tears, but I've had a lot of kids over the years from that fourth grade class that are now graduating now. And that's big for me to see you go all the way through it and for me to watch you do that. And I want to see that with all of you kids here at Duval Charter from K all the way up through 8. And then in 2017, I transitioned into the behavior interventionist role, which is now the director of student support. And I'm honored to be in that position as well. And I plan on being in this position to encourage you guys and let you know there is hope with whatever you're going through. In 2018, I earned the Award of Excellence. Those two pictures are me getting my award from Ms. White and Ms. Connolly. Ms. White and Ms. Connolly were major pieces in my life, and I thank both of them. And I thank Mr. Cross as well for picking up those reins and allowing me to continue what I'm doing. And I love it, and I appreciate everybody in the building, because without you guys, we don't know where we would be, but I'm honored to be where I am. Moving right along. This is my family. Once again, family matters. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have to cherish those moments with our family members. My high school coach always told me at the end of every baseball practice, we got in a huddle and he said, hey, go home and tell your parents you love them. They brought you into this life. So that's a good reason to tell them that you love them. You may not see it now, but trust me, you will appreciate it in the long run. On this photo, you see a picture of my baby, of my son, and my fiance. Mr. Brooks will be getting married here in a few weeks. I have one child. His name is Avery Brooks. He was born in 2018. He will be 2 years old in November. The bottom picture is me and my fiance, Miss Brown. She's a teacher here in Duval County. And this was one of our pictures at the baby shower that we had in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. She's been a teacher for 6 years. So as you see, we both have passion for working with kids, and we're in the school system together. And once again, teamwork makes the dream work, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever you do, you can't do it by yourself. You're going to need help. You're going to need help. So take every day like a grain of salt and live with it. And like I said, put a plan in place and keep it moving, because you never know who's watching. Like Mr. Johnny said, that stood out to me. You never know who's watching. So you have to be mindful of your surroundings, and you have to keep a positive attitude regardless of what you're going through. So this is a slide of my family. This is why I'm here, because of my family and you guys. This is one of my slogans that I came up with. Well, didn't come up with, but the NFL came up with. Says it takes all of us. Like I said, it takes all of us to get where we need to be. Once I got into the school system, my biggest key and my biggest point was building relationships with you guys, because you matter. I'm huge on getting to know about you and your background, because I want to contribute as much as I can in a positive way, because I know some of you, like I said before, didn't have two-parent households growing up. So I know how rough it can be. I have friends of my own. Out of the 6 good friends that I have, I'm the only one that had a two-parent household. So having to deal with their struggles and meshing it together, we've become one team. So, I mean, I don't deal with a lot of people when it comes to my circle or whatnot, but here at DCSA, all of you are in my circle, because y'all motivate me. Y'all give me a reason to come to school. My family give me a reason to come to school. As you follow me as I read this slogan, building relationships with students is by far the most important thing a teacher can do. Without a solid foundation and relationship, you cannot build that trust and respect. So I want to get to know you each and every day. That's why I'm always popping into your classes. I'm always communicating with you in the hallways. because I want to know you just as much as you know me. I don't want none of you to think that I'm the bad guy or I just want to write a referral on you. We want to learn from our mistakes. So everything is a talking point. Some of you are still learning. Some of you have learned, but as you get older, you're gonna realize, hey, I can't do this on my own. So I'm here to support you in that, and to make DCSA special for you and me.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Brooks. That was powerful. He's a good man, ladies and gentlemen. Good person to have on our team. And so I hope you guys that you've seen throughout the course of today, and I know it's a little long, so teachers, please accept my apologies. But leadership matters. And I've committed, the staff is committed to helping you to get better at who you are, not necessarily what you want to be when you grow up. The only way you can start to work on who you want to be is by realizing that you're a leader and you have to develop your leadership skills. So things like letting struggles help you, things like appreciating others, things like serving others all matter. And so that's why these assemblies are all about. That's what Wednesdays are all about. And so I care immensely about what happens to each one of you and what you become. And you have a great teaching staff that really loves you and really wants to see you do great things. But it starts now, and it starts with you becoming a better leader. I appreciate everyone's patience today. Next week will be all about community service. We'll all be about AIA awards and who is getting those dress down days for the great things they've done based off of the AIA lessons.